What's going on, guys? It's your boy Jermane'S Views, and today it's um, Friday actually. So give it up for Friday, July 17th. I'm here in the mobile studio, and it's another day to give thanks for life and make something good of the day. You know what I mean? So we're gonna dive into it real quick today. So the United States continue to hammer Iran. It's gonna be like the sixth straight night of continuous bombing operation the United States is inflicting on Iran. Now, the United States is targeting bridge and critical infrastructure. Remember, Trump promised that a few months ago before we have that so-called deal that fall apart. So, the United States is hitting more bridges than anything else, electrical equipment and um, and electrical towers. So So why the United States is doing this? Why they're hitting critical infrastructure within Iran? Because United States trying to have the people of Iran probably come up and go up against the regime. Because if people are starving, they're not getting electricity, they're not getting water, and so on and so forth. It's gonna create an internal pressure within the country, and those people are gonna be looking to ask questions, especially the richer demographic within the country. They're gonna get up and ask questions and see that and try to coerce the government um, to a certain extent to have something done with the United States to get them to do something. You know what I mean? So that's what they're doing now. Let me read you guys something. The United States expanded its airstrike campaign against Iran early Friday by hitting more bridges, electrical equipment, and collapsing a tower at a key Iranian port. Part of the president's part of President Trump's threats to start striking infrastructure to pressure Tehran to ease its chokehold on the Strait of Hormuz. At least 8 people were killed and 20 others were injured in a strike in the strikes. The Iranian state news agency Iran, Iran IRNA reported. It said early Friday that at least 6 bridges were hit, including one that was still under construction. The highway and railroad bridge strike appeared aimed at cutting off Bandar's Abbas, Iran's main port, from roads leading into the Islamic Republic's central region on Tehran, while while other routes are still open. The U.S. strike could expand further, potentially disrupting both movement of military materials and goods needed for Iran's 90 million people. Iran's response hitting allies. Iran launched a new missile attack against the United States allied nation in the Middle East, including Qatar, key mediator in the war. We already know that. And it also damaged a power and water desalination plant in Kuwait. Something crucial in the small desert nation. You know, we already know that. Tehran hit back with a new attack on the United States allies in the Middle East, including the first direct attack on Syria. So Iran is under pressure. So Trump is trying to starve the capital. So if you guys understand what I just read, he is cutting off the main routes from the ports from one of he's cutting off the main route from one of the main ports by bombing the road infrastructure, bombing a tower so that trucks and logistics vehicle cannot move from the port into the main capital, which is Tehran, to really feed people, bring food, water, clothing, bring whatever they get from the port. So he's cutting off. That's basically cutting off the head of the snake in a way. That's what he's doing. And Iran of course, going to retaliate by attacking their neighbors, which are also U.S. allies. And it's the first time in history they're saying Iran, since this war started, Iran also fired some projectile on Syria. The Syrian president is coming into the fold of the West, and he's getting people are looking at him differently because he's trying to portray Syria as a country where they're more aligned with United States interests, and maybe the Middle East don't like that in some regards. Iran probably don't like that, but that's what Trump is doing. Trump is holding Iran in a corner right now, and they're under pressure. They're under pressure, and I think that's a really great strategy. You know, destroy the ports, hit the water plants, hit the electric plants, hit the bridges, hit the tunnels. You understand? Hit all of them. Hit it, hit it, hit it, hit it. You understand? So they can come to the table and stop holding this damn straight hostage and stop holding the world economy hostage. By right, Iran is responsible for the volatility you're seeing in gas prices, um, the stock market volatility, because their government is so unorganized. There's no central command, from what I'm understanding, at this point in the Iranian government. So different factions do whatever they want, and if one faction don't agree with something, they don't go with it, and then they'll deliberately um, attack or sabotage whatever deal the other factions make with other countries, or in this case, the United States. So the government over there is in disarray. There's no central command, and it's sad. That's why this peace deal didn't hold, because there's no central command in regards to who is overseeing the projects and who is ensuring that uh, the talks proceed and move forward and in good faith and going to the table with the United States and the other key mediators. you know so it just makes sense to just, as I was saying the other day, um it makes sense for our allies, especially our NATO allies, who really lackluster in this situation, because they are not doing anything to really help counter Iran influence over the strait and counter Iran's hostage over the world economy. I'm so disappointed in our NATO and European allies, because they have no balls, they have no backbone, they have no balls, and instead of coming together with the United States to really fend off this evil, terror, diabolical government that's really holding the world hostage because of their own self-interest, the Europeans just sit back and watch and pray for United States to figure out a solution for them, in order for them to really get back on track with their economy in regards to the price they're paying for energy over there. Because before all of this, Europe was in an energy crisis, because remember, the Russia have cut off, in some regards, a lot of, remember the pipelines that blew up, and Russia, when Russia started a war with the Ukraine, Russia stopped actually sending gas and oil into Europe, and so because of that, Europe was pretty much in an energy crisis prior to this whole Iran and U.S. Operation confrontational operation. So Europe, from if anyone should be playing a more vital part or more critical part in toppling this Iranian regime and this Iranian government that is holding the world hostage is Europe. Europe should it should be in Europe's main interest to help the United States for more than one reasons, of course. One main reason is they need the oil. They need the oil. They need the energy. They need it because the economy depends on it. And two, they owe us so much. When I say us, I'm saying the United States. The Europe owe us so much because we're always running to Europe's rescue whenever something happen. We always run into them defending, um, sending critical weapons and critical equipment to Europe in their aid. So they shouldn't even be. We shouldn't even ask them to really be a part of this thing to really straighten out the Middle East. And now we're seeing that countries like Saudi Arabia and Qatar and UAE, they are playing a better role than our NATO allies, especially Saudi Arabia, and they're getting closer to the United States than our NATO allies, and they see the writing on the wall, and it's that speaks volumes because if we're in a treaty with with if we're in a treaty with NATO and European countries, and you know an attack on one means an attack on all. I don't think that play out. That's really playing out how it should play out. You know, because look at it. So Iran attack our bases early in the war. Attack our bases. What happened to the attack on one means an attack on all. You see what I'm talking about? The, Europe has no backbone when it comes to this war, and that's the thing Trump is trying to point out that they're just some of these European countries would just sit down there and just enjoy the benefits of NATO and enjoy the fruits of NATO's labor. But one, they're not contributing. Two, they're not helping um, when it comes to the United States and United States interests. They help seldomly help with anything. And if they're not called out and put in front of the media in disgrace, they don't move and act how they should supposed to act. So honestly, I think this whole NATO thing is bullshit, man. And the sooner the United States just say to hell with this NATO thing and start doing its own thing and leave these people alone for them to fend for themselves, the better it will be. Look at what Spain is doing. Spain ain't contributing shit to to NATO, but yet they still enjoy NATO's protection. You know what I mean? I think the United States should form an allied military um, allied military um, system with some of these Middle Eastern countries, Saudi Arabia, UAE, Qatar, Oman, Bahrain. Those countries are doing way more than what NATO is doing right now for United States and the United States interests. That's how I see it. That's how I see it. So listen, action speaks louder than words, and all these European countries in NATO do is just talk, 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 but there's no action behind it. Who's showing the actions right now? Saudi Arabia, Qatar, UAE, Bahrain. Those countries are showing actions. Those countries are actively helping to deter the evil and the diabolical government within Tehran. Yes, they're doing it. So to hell with NATO and to hell with some of these countries that are in NATO that's not contributing effectively to to the global defense of the organization and for the defense of the United States at large as well. You understand? So that's how I'm feeling about it. I don't know what you guys think about it. This is all we're doing, we're just paying NATO, contributing to NATO, our tax dollars, but their government over there in Europe and their not contributing as much as we are. You understand? So that's my rant on this whole situation. Trump is bombing the hell out of them over there, and he's going to continue to bomb the hell out of their critical infrastructure because stop holding the world economy hostage. Stop holding the Strait of Hormuz hostage. Stop, stop attacking commercial vessels, man. I don't know why the Iranian government and the Iranian IRGC just continue to do that. Continue to attack um, not military but commercial ships that are like transiting through the strait to deliver goods and services to live not goods and services but to deliver goods and oil throughout the world. 20% of the world oil go through that strait. That's a big number. That's a really big number. And not to mention other critical material, fertilizers, food, containers, so on and so forth, go right through that strait there. So you know we shall see what happen and continue to happen. you know we shall definitely see, but it's a good thing. Guys, please like the video for the algorithm, like the YouTube video for the algorithm. You know what I mean? Like it up, because we're telling you what's going on here. We're explaining to you what's going on here, and you know, it is a lot of people might not know or understand the reason behind this operation, but it's bigger than what we think. It's really bigger than what we think. Um, so yeah, that's what I'm saying. Continue to hit them and continue to exert peace through strength, and that's what the United States is doing. Um, you know, that's what the United States is doing, man. That's what the United States is doing. Somebody say, why is people say I agree? Yeah, definitely. I agree too. 100%, 100%, 100%. Um, we're gonna pivot to another story, guys. So this is a developing story. So Trump claimed and accused China of carrying out the largest compromise of election data in history, claiming Beijing acquired information on 220 million US voters, including names, address, phone numbers, and political preference. Trump said the intelligence showed China carried out what is believed to be the largest compromise of election data in history by alleging access to 220 million voter files. He announced the release of classified material he claimed showed China stole voter files um, starting in the 2020 election. All right, so this is getting somewhere. This is getting somewhere. He further alleged that members of the deep state within U.S. intelligence agency work to actively suppress and downplay information about election meddling. Wow. So members of the deep state know about it. The White House published four downloadable documents packages as the president delivered his address. So that's crazy. That's something to think about, really. Um, the 2020 election. So basically, Trump is saying that Iran has their hand not Iran. Why I keep saying Iran? Trump is saying that China had their hand in the 2020 election, and potentially that's why he lost. Who knows? Is that what he's claiming? Maybe that's not what he's directly claiming, but he's claiming that um, that you know they were meddling in the election, and they stole voters' information, ID, names, political preferences, address, and phone numbers, and but what what I mean, what they did with that information, if it's true, what they did with that information, who knows? Who knows? Who knows what they did with that information? But let me read on anyways. Multiple outlets reported Trump would make new claims that China meddled in the 2020 election, despite intelligence officials previously finding no indication of any foreign interference that would have changed the results of the election. All right, here we go. Um, the speech comes as the nation approaches future election cycles, including the 2026 midterm, and Trump address is poised to reignite debate over election security and foreign threats. So basically, they're saying somebody said crazy world. I agree with you. It's a crazy ass world for real. I definitely agree with you. It's a crazy ass world, man. It's a crazy world, crazy world.